Coach Steven, obviously not the results that you were looking for. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, obviously, once again, a disappointing result for us at the end of the day. Tough when you go down to 10 men again in the space of sort of three days. But in saying that, I thought we started the game really well. One of the aims was to not allow them just to have control of the ball the full time, unlike when we played in the first game of the season in the league. So I thought that worked really well. I think we put a bit of pressure on the two central midfielders, and Monari and Longlaw, and also at times on their centre back. So they didn't really have the rhythm that they always seek to have. So I thought we disrupted their sort of game plan in that regard, and I felt in possession we were able to, keep control of the ball and get into their half with good sort of control, and I think that created a little bit of problems for them. So I felt that we deserved to at least go into half-time not conceding, and then obviously we got the late goal just before half-time from the set piece, which obviously changed our mentality in the change room. And then down to 10 men in the change room, the idea was, it is a two-legged game, so we sort of felt that if for second half we could deny them, a goal, it would take us to Orlando, not having conceded an away goal. So we sort of set our structure knowing that they're going to have a lot of possession because of the extra man and their technical ability. And I thought we really played well. We just, we kept our shape. We denied them space in central areas. It didn't really look like they were going to score, albeit they had a lot of possession. So when they got their goal to make it 1-1, it obviously, we had really worked hard, and then they got their goal from a wide sort of cross to Lapasa. Then at 1-1, you're still thinking it's not the worst result to, considering you're down to 10 men, to finish the game with, because then you can go away from home and then you only need to win the game. So for us to concede late just obviously makes the task far more difficult. But in the end of the day, it's a war, and there's two battles. We've lost the first battle, but we haven't lost the war yet. So you can be rest assured that we will go to Orlando and we'll be as creative and courageous as we can to get ourselves back into the game. And if we could get a goal at Orlando, and then it becomes nervous, because then the scoreline is, if we score second and they don't score, then we advance. So but that is a worry for another day. I think we've had a tough week. Played three good teams, beaten SuperSport, then lost the second one, beaten Pirates, lost the second one, lost midweek to Chiefs. So it's a tough week for us as a club, and exciting and privileged to be in this type of week where we're playing against some of the more established teams in the league. And I can honestly say that in all three matches I feel that we have closed and are closing the gap rapidly, where I feel, although the results didn't go our way, a lot of our performances warranted a lot more from it. So time for us to reflect this week, FIFA break. We've had 7 games, a lot of new players have joined the club. We've had 7 sort of matches, 3 in the first week, then another 3 in a week. So it's been quite hectic start, so we can just maybe re-energize, regroup, reflect on where we need to improve, where we need to be better, so that we can then tackle the next phase of the league and cup, having had good preparation. But just again want to congratulate the players just for their commitment, their effort that they put into the game. And unfortunately we fell a bit short today, but as I say, it's not over.
Coach, now take questions from the floor.
Coach, you have mentioned the red card, but I mean, obviously the red card midweek had already made you change tactics slightly. You mentioned the effort from the players, but were you impressed with how they had to adapt tactically, basically, was it 3 times in 4 days?
Yes, I am. I think we came with a bit of a different sort of way to how we play against Pirates today. We sort of played with 2 6s and 2 sort of 10s. in Jaden and Andre, and then sort of having an outlet up front with Sibanda and Iki Rainers with their pace. So the plan was, you know, obviously to defend really well centrally. On transition, we've got sort of Jaden and Andre to find, and then hopefully we can turn and we can stretch them with balls in behind. So from a tactical point of view, it really worked well. But obviously with a red card, you know, we're thinking, should we just bring on a centre back now, or should we maybe try and hold out till half time and then manage and make decisions? So Jaden dropped back into centre back for that period, and the idea was to see it out till half time, not concede, go into half time 0-0, and then we get the corner, we get the goal, so we go in, you know, obviously positive, but also knowing that, you know, it's a long time, 45 minutes second half, to play against a team of Pirates caliber, the way they move the ball and the interplay and combinations and movement. But I do feel that we done well enough until we conceded, and then even thereafter. So the 2 goals were, again, you know, a little bit of quality, good delivery, you know, and the pass has done really well to get onto the edge of it and glance it in. You know, the second one is a little bit more iffy, but yeah, you know, he gets a touch. So yeah, as much as we conceded 2 goals, which is disappointing, the tactical adaptation was really solid.
Sure, Coach. I'm Jaga, SABC. Coach, I don't know, this season, I know how much personally you crave silverware after coming close a couple of times. I don't know what the priority is now, especially after starting so inconsistently this season. What would be the main priority with the cup matches that will be coming, with the league? You know, of course, I mean, when I say cup matches, I include the next cups that are coming up in the season. What's the main priority? What's going to be the main priority now, especially you have 2 weeks now to think about it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a simple and cliched answer, but we try and win every game that we play. We put out the best team to get a result, whether it be cup, whether it be league. So every single game is important. Obviously, the inclusion of the Carling Cup obviously provides us with another opportunity. Again, only 16 teams, 4 matches, and you're in a final. So we will have a go at that as well. But yeah, we're not out of the MTN as yet, so we will also approach that game with a positive mindset to get a result. And then obviously, if you want to keep playing in the MTN and be in situations like we are today, then you have to qualify for it. So obviously the league also has its importance.
Coach, you obviously mentioned that the test, having played Pirate twice, Chiefs, SuperSport in there as well. International break now, how far is your team from where you essentially want them to be? Like specifically, what do you go and work on from here?
Yeah, look, I don't think we are at our full potential. I think we're probably around about 15% that we need to find. I think what I've learned in the last matches, which you never know until you've done it, and I think, you know, we've made substitutions in matches and it hasn't always really changed the complexion of the game, especially the last 15, 20 minutes of plays that we've been bringing on. So we haven't really had time to figure out 100%, you know, when we do make changes, bringing people like Sohota on, Aniset on, you know, Antonio van Wyk, we seem to sort of lose a little bit our way. So that's an area that we have to work on in the break. And then I think the biggest thing is just to regain the belief that we can compete at the top end of competitions and reach, you know, the end stages, as well as do well in the league. So I think the main purpose this next week will be refresh, re-energize, regroup. You know, some tired legs out there. Some players played 90 minutes, 3 matches in a row, and I heard Sibon Gesenim Tetra was man of the match until they scored a goal, which I don't know why it changes, because he was, for me, the best player in the park by far. You know, for him to play the way he has and still have that amount of energy and desire to chase and press and try and get something for the team, for me, it was just, you know, it just makes a coach proud to see players just put in the effort like he does and like everybody else did.
Coach, tough luck on the result. You took Reyes off at half time, you know, and it phases in the second half, it felt, you know, you didn't have an outlet up front and you were missing that speed, you know. Every goal that was cleared came back immediately. Pirates had a lot of possession, you know. But what was the thinking, you know, of taking him off?
Yeah, it was not an easy decision, but the decision was based basically on the scoreline at halftime, and we had to weigh up, knowing that we're one man down against Pirates. You know, how many chances is Iki going to get, as opposed to his defensive responsibilities that he needs to provide the team. You know, so we felt that just the fact that we would be down to 10 men, we may not create enough chances to get a second goal. And the priority was then to be a bit more defensively solid. And then obviously a player like Mervyn Boji, you know, he is hard running, he chases things down. So the expectation from us for him was to provide that role. But in saying that, there were moments where you could see maybe a bit of more experience. You know, Rainers may have maybe handled one or two situations a bit better, but it was purely tactical change.
Hi, the coach. Sorry. Hi, the coach. This is Chris from Disc Defense. Firstly, congratulations on your 20th game with the club. My question is just going to go back to the red cards. 2 red cards in 2 games, coach. As a coach, do you have like individual talks to the players to address the issue, or do you just speak to the whole players? How do you address the issue of red cards not to become a regular thing? Thanks.
Yeah, it is obviously you've got to take each sort of booking and card into context and the player, and obviously if it's malicious sort of tackles and there's elbows being thrown and punches being thrown and that, then obviously that's something that we can't accept. But I think, you know, now that I've had opportunity to watch the midweek, it was probably 2 yellows. So, you know, Titus he's got himself booked twice, which is not ideal for the team because it puts us on the back foot. But in both situations, I don't think, you know, it's not malicious. And I think today, Tabu's first touch let him down. The ball got away from him. So, you know, when that first touch goes, you sort of overcompensate to try and make it. And, you know, obviously the studs are up, and it's, you know, obviously he's disappointed, he's in tears and not happy with, you know, what happened and the outcome. So if it becomes a regular occurrence and it's players that are doing it unnecessarily and are hurting the team, obviously we'll address it. But I do believe in both situations this week it has hurt the team, but in both cases I don't think, you know, it's just down to don't worry about the booking. I think it's just been a bit unfortunate.
Steve, you had so many good signs since you started the season, and things just haven't. I mean, you had absolutely no luck over the last couple of weeks. What do you think you need to do? I mean, maybe sacrifice a goat, talk to the ancestors. I mean, is there something in your head that you're thinking I can do this week to try and just turn the luck around?
Yeah, no, you're right. Mark, you know what? At some stage we sort of had won 3 out of 4. You know, we had beaten teams, been in a semi-final and got a good start to the league. But then, you know, going into this week, had we even only just won 1 and drawn 1, we would still be on, like, you know, the momentum and really a good start to the season. But now, having now lost 3 on the bounce, it's always, you know, it's an opportunity to see where we can be a little bit better. So I'll have a bit of time to think about it, but just seeing this week what happened, playing the 3 matches, I see ourselves being 5-10% short of just the real quality to you know, turn these losses into victories. Sometimes, you know, you play Chiefs and there's a moment of brilliance from Mordy, you know, changes the complexion of the game. You know, today some really, you know, decent delivery into the box. So then, you know, I feel that we're getting close to really competing with everybody every single match. So now it's just for us to find out, you know, where can we just have those 1% improvements in every area. So yeah, a bit of reflection needed to be done, and find a way that, you know, we can turn these close encounters more into victories. But in saying that, again, you know, you get a penalty against you against SuperSport, which was not a penalty. It changes the complexion of the game. You're playing Chiefs, you're in total control of the match. After the game, you know, you get the stats bomb report. We created more chances in 42 minutes than they did in 90 minutes. Our expected goals was double theirs. You know, so you walk off feeling that you were a bit hard done by and you should have got more from it. And then today, you know, you get a similar feeling. So I think it might be, besides tactical and technical changes, it might just be a little bit more emotionally just getting the players back into a good space, because You know, they put in big efforts week in and week out, and in this instance 3 times in a week, and I've got no joy from it. So, you know, it's important for them not to doubt themselves and to continue to have a high level of belief that we can still have a really good season. Still MTN to play for 2 other cups, you know, we want to do well in the league, so we need to get back to winning ways as soon as possible.
I'll take the last question and we'll wrap it up.
On the away goal rules, Steve, obviously you've got to score twice
Yes.
in Orlando. I mean, is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any statisticians in here. When last the Pirates concede 2 at home and lose a game, I'm not sure it's too often. So it is a Herculean task. But you know what? In life, there's many people in that change room who've overcome many difficulties in their lives, both from off the field, emotionally, socially. You know, we've got fighters in that change room. I myself am a fighter. And I will not go to Orlando feeling that we cannot get and do something special. And that's what cup tournaments are about. It's about special moments. It's about doing crazy things and getting crazy results when people least expect it. So it'll be interesting if we can get the first goal, because then basically, you know, it puts, how do they keep coming forward and concede a second and then put themselves under pressure. So obviously the key is to start the game well and not concede, because if you concede, then, you know, then the tie becomes really almost like, you know, really difficult then. So it's about us approaching the game in a way that we stay in the game up to a certain level, and then we've got nothing to lose. We then have to go for it, and we have to find a way to get 2 goals, if not more. But not an easy task, but we'll try and figure out.
That's the last one, eh?
Hi, Coach. Not the result, the celebrated 200 match for Stellenbosch. Just your thoughts on those 200 matches that stood out and just how it's been for you.
Yeah, no, it's been a roller coaster ride. Obviously, very proud to have been the head coach of the special club for 200 matches. You know, it's an honor. I think every single player that's played for me, I'm thankful for their effort and their commitment to be able to, you know, play in a way that I'm able to continue being at the level I am and coaching the club and having that sort of milestone. So it's very special. You know, thank you for the management and the belief and trust that they've placed me in, or have given me with the club. You know, the club started out with a sort of plan to be in the PSL in 5 years. We've achieved that. We've achieved 2 semi-finals. We've achieved, you know, 4th or 6th position. You know, we've developed some really good, talented players that have moved on to other clubs and, you know, overseas and in Europe. So, you know, I believe that in the space that I've been here, I think there's been massive strides made in the club. And it's now for me to reinvigorate and re-energize myself and, you know, find a way to take us now to the next level. I do feel we're getting closer, but now it's just ensuring that we can go to the next level. Looking at the 2 deliveries yesterday from wide areas makes me a bit envious. It was really good from Junior, Mendieta and Ashley. So yeah, well done to them. But yeah, so I feel we are in a good space. I'm in a good space. It's been 200 games with highs and lows, and, you know, lots of joyous moments, some difficult periods to come through, winning a league title, penalty shootout away from a final. So it's important for me now to find ways to take the team to the next level and continue maybe for another couple of hundred.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Stephen, and that brings us to the end of the press conference.